I could safely say that Black Ops 3 Zombies is most people's favorite zombies title, period. At least, that's what I thought for the longest time. About a year ago, I started up this channel making primarily COD Zombies content, pretty much talking about topics and questions I thought about throughout my day, and after every video I posted, there were always at least one person that would diss on Black Ops 3. Now, of course, not everyone is going to like one single product, but as my channel grew, so did the hate comments towards Black Ops 3, and I was honestly perplexed. I never knew that so many people had hated what Black Ops 3 had either introduced or some of its game mechanics. Either way, I think that hate spreads faster than love. I've said that many times before, and I believe that most people do enjoy the game. But after reading some of these comments, you guys have brought up some pretty good points. Points that actually made me rethink my opinion about the game. And some questions that have been gnawing at me since I've started up this channel. Is Black Ops 3 really the GOAT? Was Black Ops 3 Zombies the start of the downfall of the mode? Or is this game just flawed? So in this video, let's do a deep dive into Black Ops 3 and its problems, and if the game is really as good as we remember it being. And to start out, I'm only going to say this once. Black Ops 3 Zombies is not a bad game. I understand this game is most people's babies, but not all babies are perfect. Anyways, let's get it on. Let's start with the very tame opinion that I think most people can get behind, and that's that certain Gobblegums had broken the game's difficulty. Gums like Perkaholic and Shopping Free had ruined early game struggles by making you too powerful and opening the entire map for free. And these gums wouldn't be so broken if dashboarding wasn't a thing. Now, I will be the first person to say that I absolutely abused the hell out of this exploit. Are you kidding me? It was so fun to wander the map on early rounds and not have any worry about dying. I mean, there's just nothing like it, you know? You get out of here. But what I didn't understand at the time was how much of the experience I was taking away from myself. I had used this exploit like a crutch for so long that I had become lazy and I wasn't as self-aware as I should have been. I had taken away crucial choices like which 4 perks do I want to rock with, or do I want to traverse through path A or path B. So like a man, I decided to veer from the path of using gums and go full cold turkey. Then I remembered that you can die in less than a second without Jug. Yeah. But I don't think that Gobblegums are all that bad. Using classic gums like Alchemical Antithesis, or Out of Sight, and Plain Sight. God, why am I so stupid? And I'm only whispering right now because my daughter is asleep right next to me, so I'm sorry. Are very useful and resourceful, but they're also not too OP due to the limited uses and the way you get them through the machine itself. This added an element of randomness by not giving you a certain gum you were either wanting or giving you one that you were needing. But this doesn't excuse the dashboarding exploit that thousands of people used. But an argument that can totally be made is just don't do it. Play the game the way it was intended to be played. So let's talk about the actual gameplay next, starting with the game's difficulty. Instead of the player downing in just 2 hits, our health was now increased to 3. But the only catch was that the speed of the zombie spanks are now insanely fast. I've never been too bothered by this. It actually made me quite a better player by being more aware of the map's atmosphere and the way I train zombies. But it also added more importance on getting Jug and building the shield as soon as possible. I also think that this game has the best early round setups. And that's due to the amount of content each map supplies. Wonder weapons, special weapons, powering up each map, and completing side quests that are all fun, unique, and challenging. Not a single map setup is similar to any other, making each map have its own form of difficulty. And I think it's very important to have maps that feel and play different from one another, because we all know what happens when a game doesn't introduce anything new to each of their maps. They all play the same, with the one exception of each map's exclusive wonder weapon. But with Black Ops 3's case, each map offers fun and semi-challenging quests that reward you with weapons that can help you easily slay hordes of zombies, even if they do make the game a bit easier. but it at least adds a bit of character to the map and your gameplay. Now, these special weapons were obviously inspiration to future projects like Black Ops 4 with its insanely OP special weapons, and then with modern zombies you have field upgrades. But I think that Black Ops 3 did special weapons the best, and it gave you something worth doing on your early rounds. Now let's talk about a little negative that this game had unfortunately ruined: the mystery box. Now, I never understood why wall weapons are in the box. Let me just walk down the block and grab the bitch instead of getting it from the box 15 times. But besides a couple map exclusive weapons like the Marshals on Zetsubo, the Rift E9 from Revelations, and don't get me started with the PP. But besides those weapons, all the other guns feel the exact same. They're either okay or really good. Either way, whatever gun I get from the box isn't gonna be bad. And if I don't want to gamble my luck from the box, I could just safely buy a wall weapon, pack it until I get dead wire. And circling back to dashboarding, if you use Immolation Liquidation, which spawns in 3 fire sales, you can now get whatever weapon you want from the box infinitely. And like I mentioned before with ammo mods being a thing, yeah, they're extremely broken in this game, to the point where you're not even killing zombies with bullets, but instead with your ammo mod. I do think that the basic weapons in this game are the weakest part about Black Ops 3 Zombies, which is something you do not want your shooter game to have. The variety of weapons that are either good, bad, or dog shit is the type of randomness that made each of your matches unique compared to prior maps. And if a game has only good weapons, then again, we have another problem. So to wrap up early round gameplay, you can either make it extremely easy with the use of dashboarding, or you can go through the complex motions each of these maps offer you by completing quests, actually buying doors, which is a crazy concept, and coming up with a strategy on how you want to progress your way on becoming fully equipped. I'm also a huge fan on how long it takes to complete everything and getting all set up for high rounds. So let's move on to the upper rounds where things start to become more difficult. As a player, I love to train. It's always been my bread and butter, and it's how I personally have fun with zombies. Now, due to special weapons, wonder weapons, dead wire, and gobblegums, it would seem that we might be a bit too powerful to the point where the game might become a bit too easy. That may be the case on some maps, but the difference on being overly powered on Black Ops 3 compared to Black Ops 7 are the ways you become powerful. On Black Ops 3, I had to work hard to become powerful, and not only does it pay off, but it feels well earned. But on Black Ops 7, all you really have to do is buy every perk in the game, level up your gun to the max level, and maybe get the map exclusive wonder weapon. It's not only lame and repetitive, but it also lacks character. But before I get way too off track, going back to Black Ops 3, I think that high rounding is fun. And the special and wonder weapons are the main reasons for it being so. They're all so different from one another that it changes the way I play, making high rounding each map feel different from each other. Now at some point, does it become boring? Yes. But I'm at least not able to doze off and still do fine. I at least need to be aware of my surroundings because of the insane hit speed of the zombies. So to wrap up this topic, I believe that high rounding can go either one of two ways. If you decide not to do any rewarding quests on your early rounds, then the game will become significantly harder. But on the other hand, if you decide to take the time on completing the quests, you will be rewarded with a much easier experience. Kind of common sense, of course, but I would also like to bring up an argument I've seen made before, and it's that some people don't like needing to complete multiple quests in order to become powerful. They would rather enjoy a much more welcoming game that doesn't require you to do so. Now, I want to preface that there is nothing wrong for disliking Black Ops 3. Hell, more power to you. But I think Black Ops 3 shines with how you become powerful. Sometimes it could take an hour just to get to round 20 and you're still not being done set up. So if you don't like the long early games and would rather just get into the fight, then World at War, Black Ops 1, and Modern Zombies are the way to go. But for me personally, I adore spending 2 hours getting all set up just to die in a bullshit way and then to do it all over again. Kind of sounds like a toxic relationship if you think about it, but alas, I absolutely love this game. So the final topic I want to bring up are the maps themselves. Now, does Shadows of Evil rip off certain traits that Mob had introduced? Yes. Is the Giant a remastered of Darius? Yes. Is Revelations a collage of multiple maps that just makes the map feel like a lazy way to end Black Ops 3? Absolutely. And did Zombies Chronicles ruin maps like Shangri-La, Nocturne Toten, Ascension, and Kino der Toten? Kind of. And I'd like to talk about that question first with Zombies Chronicles. Now, what the DLC did for the game was amazing. It brought back thousands of players and was honestly a dream come true DLC. But there's just something I hate to admit, and it's that I get easily bored on some of these maps. Take Kino for example. Back on Black Ops 1, it was already a somewhat easy map with your only problem being ammo management. Now take that problem away with the use of certain Gobblegums and introduce ammo mods. Now the map is way too easy. And the worst part is that getting the Thunder Gun isn't necessary to get anymore. And oh my god, don't even get me started with Ascension. Literally all you have to do is either buy the RK5 or the Shiva off the wall and put an ammo mod on it. It's stupidly easy. And I think personally that most of the Chronicles maps shine best in their original games. And I think that the phrase less is more fits this argument perfectly. No Gobblegums, no ammo mods, just the bare minimum those games had was what made each of those maps so special. Add more to them and they lose their identity. But at the end of the day, are those maps fun to play on the Black Ops 3 mechanics? Yes, but I just don't think that, I don't know, I get way too bored way too easily with some of these maps. But let's move on to the maps that came from Black Ops 3. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're the type of player who wants to just get in and kill, then this game might not be it for you. Sure, you could do that in this game, but you might be missing the best parts about the game, and it's what each map has to offer. And I believe that Shadows of Evil, Zetsubo, Gorod Krovi, and Drak are all S-tier maps. To me, they're all very replayable, and they push me to become a better player. And I'm never bored when I play these maps. It's because the setup process requires you to remember many steps and having tons of knowledge. I've already gone over gameplay and what I love about it, so to wrap this video up, let's answer the questions. Is Black Ops 3 Zombies really the GOAT? And was Black Ops 3 the beginning of the downfall of the mode? To answer the first question, sure. It's really all about perspective and your preference. There is no wrong answer to this question. But do I think that this game was the beginning of the downfall of zombies? Absolutely not. With everything this game had added like special weapons and Gobblegums, if Treyarch had just stayed with the basic gameplay of World at War, the mode wouldn't have evolved into what it was today. Whether you like it or not, the risk that Treyarch made with adding or changing how things operate within each of their games were a step in a direction. Whether it was forward or back, I would rather it be moving somewhere than to be stationary. And we saw that with Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7. The games play, feel, and almost look the same. And some people, including myself, are low-key kinda burnt out by those games. So what do you guys think? Is Black Ops 3 the GOAT? Was it the beginning of the downfall of zombies? Or is it just flawed? Alright guys, that's the video. Like I said a little bit ago, leave me a comment down below whether or not you guys think that Black Ops 3 is the GOAT, whether or not you hate it. There is no right or wrong answers at the end of the day. Now this is the part of the video where I take a comment from my last video and talk about it right now. To give you guys a little bit of context about what my last video was, it was me explaining the importance of difficulty in zombies. If you guys want to check that video out, link will be in the top right of your screen. So the inspiration from this video was actually comments from my last video with a bunch of people saying that Black Ops 3 was too easy, it was the beginning of the end, and these comments were a huge inspiration to this video. But there was one comment that brought up a great point about starting rooms in Modern Zombies. And this comment comes from Ma the Magic. And this person says, I would like to bring up an interesting point in early round difficulty. Health is a big issue in Modern Zombies, but these play spaces are designed to maintain 48 to 52 zombies at once. That includes spawn rooms. So when we had these colossal areas like the spawn room and Ashes, Citadel Day More, Liberty Falls, Shattered Vale, and even Astra, there were no threats on being overwhelmed in the first 5 to 10 rounds. If you looked at something like Mob, Verruct, Die Rise, or Origins, spawn rooms serve just that. A place to spawn in and thus to funnel the player out into the map as quickly as possible, leaving them with only a few points if they aren't point maxing. Now, I made a perfect video about this, about the importance of the starting room, and this comment sums that video up perfectly. I've actually never thought of the reasons why spawn rooms were so big, and it was because 48 to 52 zombies spawn at once. Imagine if Origins was brought from Black Ops 2 and put into this game, and you have 52 zombies in that small ass spawn room. Fuck that. But yeah, spawn rooms are a huge thing for me, and what he said about pushing the player out as fast as possible just because of the small crowded spaces, that is literally what I want a spawn room to be. I'll be very curious if one of the next Black Ops 7 maps had a very small spawn room, and to see how that works. That would play so chaotically. But the zombies themselves in Black Ops 7 are already at running speed on early rounds. But hey, I would love to see small spawn rooms come back into the mix. So thank you, Magic, for the comment. I appreciate you stopping by. So if you guys want to leave a comment down below to have a chance to be on my next video, I will not stop you. If you guys want to like the video, I will not stop you. If you guys want to subscribe, I will not stop you. And as always, if you guys want to spank my bills, hey, I will not stop you. Have a good one, guys. Take care.